Hello there. Welcome to the FileBound Accounts Payable demonstration. My name is Tony Smith. I'll be taking you on a guided tour of the FileBound platform, highlighting some of the latest features and functions as we navigate a standard AP process. To get us started, I'd just like to introduce you to our AP workflow team. We have our IT manager, who looks a little bit like me but has plenty of hair. We also have our company director, AP clerk and CFO. Each of these guys will have their role in our demonstration today, so let's get cracking. So our process starts with the IT manager. He's going to need to create a couple of purchase orders, one for $33,000 and one for $76.94. And seeing he's using the FileBound platform, he'll submit his purchase order requests via FileBound web forms. Just logging into FileBound here, we're going to navigate along to our FileBound forms. Here we'll be able to select our purchase order category and then select our form, which is our purchase order request. The FileBound platform has a very nice drag and drop web form designer. This makes creating these types of web forms extremely easy to set up and deploy. Whether that be for the internal staff to complete, or perhaps you might want to make them public so your team can access them when out of the office. The IT manager is going to complete this form for Squirrel IT, add the $33,000 for the PO request, and is then going to send that off for review and approval. I'm just going to open up a brand new browser window here, and we're going to navigate to that web form direct. Being able to hit this web form in this particular way will enable you to actually link this to an existing website. Due to a bit of magic, I'm going to complete this PO request for Click cameras in record time. Now it's time for our company director to take center stage. She'll be reviewing and approving all purchase orders that are greater than $5,000. And we'll be using FileBound's automated workflow and assignments to manage those queued purchase orders for her review and approval. Jumping into FileBound as the company director, I can instantly see that I've got an assignment that is awaiting my attention. Here I can complete the workflow at the high level, or I can actually open the document up and complete the file when reviewing the purchase order request. Currently I'm using the web viewer to view our PO request file. As you can see on the left hand side, we have our file details, which is all of the metadata about the file that's been captured on submission. The company director can then look at the details in the PO request, but the real power here is jumping in to see that workflow map. This gives the FileBound user an exact understanding about where they are in that workflow. So to get this moving along, as the company director, I'm going to approve this PO request. That in turn will actually have the workflow dispatch an email to the IT manager. Now that the PO has been approved in workflow, the file status has now been automatically updated to approved. Returning back to the FileBound search screen, I can now search through the purchase order project and look at all of the files that have been processed to date. However, if I actually want to refine my search and target a file explicitly, I can actually put in the search criteria, and I'm going to try and search now for the Click cameras, which was the other IT manager purchase order, and we're going to filter that down and find it. And as we can see, because it was under $500, the workflows automatically approved it. So let's welcome back the IT manager to our process. He's going to get an email notification on a couple of occasions. One's going to be for the auto approval because it's less than $500. The other email notification is going to come from the director approval as soon as they've actually done it. So at this point in the process, our supplier is going to deliver the product accompanied with the invoice. We are now simulating the email receipt of 3 supplier invoices. One of those, as you can see, is our Squirrel IT invoice. This was the PO that our company director previously approved. On the right hand side of the screen, I have a directory open. This is our monitored site capture hot folder. Here I'll be dropping our invoices into this location where site capture will be going to work, automatically extracting all of the invoice header data along with the line item data. Once this process is complete, all the data is migrated off to FileBound. Now it's time to get our AP clerk into the process. They'll be utilising FileBound's workflow assignments, which will enable the efficient management of exceptions, plus other key tasks such as adding account codes and cost centers. I've quickly jumped into FileBound here, and I'm presenting the AP Clerk's Workspace page. In the orange Assignments widget at the top, I have a number of queued invoices that are presented visually. This way the user can easily select their workflow assigned invoices. This FileBound workspace is a customizable zone, enabling the user to drag and drop configurable widgets into their very own space. And by having mouse over reporting, it really makes these charts come to life. Still operating as the AP Clerk, I've now navigated to the FileBound Assignments page. Here I can see a complete breakdown of my assignments and the respective metadata that's associated to each file that's in the workflow. Also, you'll see I have the ability to preview the invoice, as well as action the workflow buttons of choice if I wanted to. But for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to open up the Squirrel IT invoice. With my document viewer opened, I have access to the file details, which I can change if I have permissions to. Additionally, my line item data that was automatically extracted by site capture, this is now found right here on screen for a deeper review by the AP Clerk. As one of my workflow tasks on this invoice, I need to allocate an account code and a cost center so I can send it on. These selections are made available in the drop-downs, where this accounting data can be integrated with your finance system using our powerful FileBound integration tools. At this point, I'm going to say that I'm happy with this invoice. All of the data checks out. I've completed my account codes and cost centers, and I'm going to hit the validate line items. I haven't got any comments to add here for this invoice. I'm just going to click OK and move it on. It's here in the workflow where the configured business rules are applied. This process validates all data across the invoice, making sure it's complete and, more importantly, that it reconciles. Returning back to the assignments queue for the AP Clerk, we can clearly see that Squirrel IT is now being removed from the list. There is another feature I wanted to demonstrate, and that's with our supplier click cameras. I purposely processed this invoice without a PO number quoted, so let's open this file up and see how it's been treated. As we can see, there is no PO on the document. However, the workflow has actually determined that no PO means that it needs to create a no PO notification letter. This letter contains all of the variables, but also allows the AP Clerk to modify the Word document before saving and then emailing out to the supplier. Bringing in the CFO as the last person in our demonstration, he's going to utilize the power of the FileBound workflows to isolate only those invoices that meet a defined business rule. That means he's really only interested in invoices that are greater than $5,000. Checking our assignments queue as a CFO, we can see that we've got a Squirrel IT Solutions invoice for $33,000. This needs to be opened up, reviewed by the CFO, and then approved. Once the invoice is open, the CFO can check that all the file details are true and correct. And furthermore, should he want to reassign some new account codes, well, he can certainly do this prior to hitting the Approve Invoice button. But let's say the CFO wants to look at the PO document that was approved for the invoice. FileBound supports the relational references with the viewer, which means with a couple of clicks, the PO can be instantly viewed. As we've seen earlier in the demonstration with the PO approval, the workflow can be visually presented. However, should you want to access workflow step details, such as who approved an earlier step, by date, by time and function, these valuable details can be pushed into your document notes and viewed as required. But at this stage, as the CFO, I'm going to say that I'm all good with this invoice. I'm going to hit the Approve Invoice button and move this invoice out of my assignments queue. And there we go, the assignments queue for the CFO is now clear. I'm now going to head off and do a search for the Squirrel IT invoice because I actually want to make sure that the data has actually been extracted and sent off to the accounting system. And there we see our Squirrel IT invoice with the status of invoice approved, export ready. Now we have our integration engine running in the background. So I'm just going to hit the refresh button here to see if that data has been extracted. And there, yep, there we go. The file status has been updated to data extracted. Perfect.